Hey guys, welcome to another video. This is another spec check video where I look at something just out of the box and just go over how it's built and the options on it and whatnot. So in this video we are specifically talking about the True Catalyst PX5 glove and blocker. What you might be asking yourself is, oh, that's weird. He usually doesn't just get a glove and blocker and review. If anything, it's like a whole set with the leg pads, or if it's not a whole set, it's usually just the leg pads. So the story behind that is, if you saw, I have recently released a video on the CCM E-Flex leg pads. So originally my plan was to just get a full set of the CCM E-Flex 7. But when I went to order online, I noticed I could not find a 590 CCM E-Flex glove for sale. All places had were the 580, which I already know I'm not going to like. So to me, there was no point in buying it because the break angle is the biggest thing for me for a catching glove. And so if I already know off the bat the angle is not what I like there's no point in me buying it because I'm not going to like it ultimately. So why waste the money? So then I had a thought of, well, if I don't get the CCM glove and blocker, what if I get the Catalyst PX5 glove and blocker, their newest line, and then maybe, after I'm done testing out the E-Flex 7 leg pads, I sell those, maybe I get the Catalyst PX5 leg pads, and then I'll end up having the whole set. So that's tentatively what I kind of am planning to do. We'll see. For now, I just have the True Catalyst PX5 glove and blocker. And for now I'm using them with the CCM E-Flex 7 leg pads, but I want to keep the videos separate just because somebody might be interested in one and not the other. I don't want to just mix and match different brands as one like set and review and out of the box type style. I'd rather keep it separate. So, and also if you notice, I'm wearing the same thing that I was wearing in the E-Flex 7 video. That's because I'm filming these back to back because I have it all at the same time, but like I said, I just want to keep everything separate. So just to start, I kind of want to talk about my history with True and their gloves. When I say gloves, I mean glove and blocker. I really haven't been a big fan of them. Nothing that I've tried a decent amount at this point. I had, let's see, since they broke away from CCM, I've had their 12.1, which was their first pad that came out. They weren't even called True then. They were just going by Lefebvre. I had a full custom set of 12.1. So I had glove and blocker 12.1. I had a glove and blocker 12.2, albeit admittedly the glove on that one was a 600 break. So that kind of spoiled it for me. Then the 9X3, which is the next one that came out after that. I had a set of that, so I had the glove and blocker for that too. So I've pretty much had every glove and blocker of this Catalyst, or you want to call it their hybrid line, whatever, since they've been their own thing away from CCM or / join True. I've never really had anything blow me away. I've never been super impressed with it. The blockers have felt okay. They've always just felt outdated to me. The gloves, again, outdated, but also they just never really felt that comfortable. I never felt like they were really easy to close, even though I've always gotten the game ready version of their gloves. They always just felt kind of chunky, uncomfortable, hard to close for the catching gloves. So I really haven't been super impressed with their glove and blockers. I will say, just looking at this without having used it on the ice or anything, it seems like they're taking some baby steps. There seems to be some slight improvements. It's not drastic. A lot of it is still the same stuff I've been seeing. I don't know why they just don't want to overhaul some of these things, but we'll talk about it. There is some baby step improvements, I feel. So let's start with the blocker. So this is the True Catalyst PX5 blocker. Now, another thing to note with this, I don't know ultimately what they're going to end up doing, but unlike with the previous line, the PX3, the 9X3, whatever you want to call it, as far what I could see for me to order this online, there is not like a generic retail, like I don't know if they would call it the 9X5 or what at this point, like there was with the 9X3, which the 9X3 was actually overseas made, but it was their stock Pro line. Then if you went custom, they called it the PX3, and that was North American made. What I discovered when trying to order this glove and blocker was I hadn't seen anything like the 9X5 or whatever version of this where it's just like a generic pro level retail pad that's made overseas. What I saw my options were when it was time to buy was I could either order my own custom set, which I didn't want to do because I'm just trying this out. I'm not like wanting to put that much into it. But then I noticed places just kind of basically, they had a stock, like a white, you see this is just the white generic. They had their stock white generic, but it seems like they ordered it custom for their store. Like they just made a mass order of custom, all white, whatever. So I'm gonna go over the specs of this stuff, whatever, but ultimately I don't know that that's like gonna be a generic spec going forward whenever they decide to come out with their generic retail version of this. So this stuff that I ordered, the True Glove and Blocker, is actually, and I got it from Goalie Monkey. It's just Goalie Monkey's, like, they ordered a bunch of custom of these, but it's to be their kind of just generic white stock ones that people can just buy without having to do their own custom order. But they did make their own like choices and certain things here that I don't necessarily know is going to be like a stock choice coming from True whenever they put out that retail thing pad. So just keep that in mind when I'm saying this, because it might not apply whenever they decide to come out with that. But just going by what I got from Goalie Monkey from their quote unquote stock glove and blocker. So it's their 615 build. From what I could I try to look into what that means, because they've had these like number builds on their blocker before. In the past, it was like one number meant it had binding if you wanted the old school binding around it, and then another number like the 585 I think it was, with no binding, more modern. So I feel like this 615 is a newer build. I think from what I could tell when I was looking into it, it came out with the hazardous PX4, the P4, whatever, the hazardous one right before this. It started with that. So what does the 615 build mean? And that's part of, like I said, they have these baby steps where it's a little different. So in general, it feels a lot and looks a lot like the same damn blocker they've been putting out for, I don't know, a decade now, even when they were with CCM. It's just a very outdated design, to me at least. You know, I know there are fanboys, people that have gone back to them throughout the years that maybe they're just so used to the feel of it. They're just like, yeah, I like it. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But to me, I just feel like, man, they could be better. Like, it's not bad. It's just very old feeling. Like, it's a lot of things about it that don't need to be. But with this new 615 design, one of the differences is a stiffer sidewall, and they're calling it a de facto one-piece sidewall. As you can clearly see, it is not actually a one-piece sidewall. There is a differentiation, a break here. But they're saying it, for all intents and purposes, it's a one-piece sidewall, which, yes, that is one of the things I'm saying is like a baby step improvement, because if you've seen my reviews on past blockers and why I like Bauer the best for blockers, I love a very stiff sidewall that acts basically as a two-sided blocker. And while this isn't technically really a one-piece sidewall, yeah, it acts pretty much like a one-piece sidewall. It is very stiff. So I do like that about it. It's like one of the little changes they've made. Also, they have this little notched cutout here that hasn't been in past blockers, which, okay, not a big deal. Again, little baby steps. They've really gotten rid of a lot of the cuff here, which I do like, because I feel like in general having a cuff is fairly outdated as well. It just harkens back to a time where it was needed. It's really not needed anymore. Very little, if any cuff is needed. In fact, on my Bauer mock, and if you've seen the video I did on that, it pretty much doesn't have a cuff. It has like a band that kind of goes around here, but I wouldn't even call it a cuff. It's almost a cuffless blocker, and it's fine. I have no issue with that. Like, I don't really, to me, the cuff doesn't really do anything. But the fact that they reduced it and they have it adjustable with the Velcro on both sides, you can really like pull it out and make it like a non-factor, which makes the wrist flexion really good in it. You can present the blocker that way really well. So yeah, it's another little minor change. Is the cuff is different. You know, like I said, is it night and day drastic? No, it's still a cuff. It's just been reduced. But then that's kind of where the baby step improvements end. Other than that, everything else about it seems like every other True blocker I've had. Again, feels very chunky. Not to be confused with heavy, just a chunky feeling. It doesn't feel streamlined like my Bowers. Even my Vaughn feels more streamlined than this. And part of the issue too, and I've called this out in past True blockers, I don't know what it is about their design of it, that their stitching along the thumb here is so goddamn tight. Okay, it's very uncomfortable right in this part where your thumb is. I hate it. Now, in the past when I've used it, it loosens up, stretches out a little bit as you use it. But I just don't understand why is this design like this? There's no need. Who's wanting a tight, restrictive seam here for your thumb? I think that's just a terrible design, personally. But then beyond that, it's just very generic, simple palm. It's got the sure grip here. But like, you know, other blockers will have like special foam to protect on the fingers. The Vaughn has a thing where the Nash or sure grip material wraps around the index finger to help protect them instead of having mesh there that could wear away when you're holding the stick. This has no kind of special feature like that. It's just very generic blocker palm that you've seen for many, many years. Then it's got, you know, this whole outer thumb protection design here. Again, very basic, got a thumb pillow. Very basic finger protection. You know, it has, so a lot of blockers have, besides just the sidewall, will come with some extra piece here. In some brands they're removable and some they're not. And this one, I don't understand. So there is a Velcro attachment point here, but it's also sewn in. So it's not like if I unvelcro it, I can really do anything. So not sure what point the Velcro has in it. Ideally for me, I would rather it be only Velcroed in, not sewn. That way you can take it out, because I don't feel like it does anything. I mean, look, let me show you a side view of this. This is how much extra, like, I don't know, protection, whatever you want to call it, sticking out. Personally, I don't need that. I don't think that's doing anything. I'd rather have this a little more open for the stick. But that's their design for this. So, you know, is what it is. They claim that they thinned it out a little bit. Maybe if I put the 9X3 next to this, it might be like a centimeter thinner. I by no means would call this like thin, overly thin or anything. To me, it just seems very, again, very generic design. You know, but they say that one of the things in the 615 design is that it's a little thinner. Maybe they just mean that it's a little more tapered at the end, but in the middle, I don't know, that seems pretty like a standard thickness. So one thing that is not, again, like when I was saying before, that this is kind of like Goalie Monkey's own decision of what some of the things they ordered with this, but I don't know if you saw, True came out with this thing where, oh, we got the new revolutionary thing in goaltending. They really hyped it up. Like, it was like, you knew it wasn't gonna be what it was hyped up way too much. So it ended up being this angled thing that would go on the top part of your hand that would make the blocker sit, I don't know, a little more forward, better angle to the puck. If you have a nice open cuff and nothing's restrictive here and you have good wrist flexion, I don't think you really need that. It's nothing. Okay, I guess could it help a little bit? Sure. It's by no means revolutionizing goaltending or a blocker. either way, Goalie Monkey, when they made their PX5 order for their own version of their stock that they want to carry, they did not get that, which goes to show, like, I mean, if it was really so revolutionary, so great, why didn't they get it? Look, if you have it and you like it, hey, good, more power to you. I just personally, to me, I just find it funny that they made such a big deal about it. A little angled thing that makes the blocker sit a certain way. Like, okay. I have never in my life thought, man, I need the blocker angled like another 15 degree, whatever the hell the degree is that it angles it. I've always just, when I've gotten a blocker I like that has the mobility and wrist flexion I like, I've always just been able to present the blocker how I wanted it. Plus, all these blockers have that angle at the top, which, you know, helps with how it's angled towards the puck. So just to say that this doesn't have their angle feature that they do offer at a custom level, but I don't really feel like I'm missing anything, to be honest. So, you know, again, just to kind of summarize, in general, it's very much a lot of the same shit that I wish they would kind of do an overhaul. They do have two lines, you know, they have the Catalyst and they have Hazardous. They could use one line to be more modern, really think out of the box, do some different stuff, like, you know, stuff like Bauer does. But no, they kind of just want to keep the same shit. And then, like I said, it's the, you know, little baby steps that I do like, the little minor improvements, you know, the sidewall, whatnot. But, you know, we'll see when I use it, but nothing about me when I put this on my hand makes me think like, oh, this is going to be great. This is going to be one of my top blockers. No, just putting it on my hand. I mean, definitely I still like Bauer the best, but even like beyond that, I would easily choose my Vaughn blocker over this too. So, but one of the staples though is always that it has good protection, again, because I'm saying how thick it is and they have so much stuff to it. So yeah, protection wise, you know, True's known to be very good in that regard, but I just think they can still have good protection and modernize it a little more, streamline it a little more, make it feel a little more comfortable in your hand, you know, but we'll see when I use it. But that's just kind of the out of the box spec look at this PX5 Catalyst blocker that I bought from Goalie Monkey. So let's talk about the glove, and I'm a little more bullish on the glove. Again, not that it in general is such a different design than they've been doing, but for whatever reason, it feels better on my hand and it closes a lot better out of the box than any other True glove I've ever had. So this is, I haven't used it. I haven't really done anything to break it in. I will say it came in the box from Goalie Monkey where like they had it closed and they had it wrapped with like a cord. So maybe they did something to kind of break it in. I'm also thinking, so like, you know, I live in South Florida. I don't really know exactly how, like the shipping conditions or the route they took. But I've noticed, like when I put my stuff in my car early in the day when I know I'm playing later and it's been sitting in my car and it's a hot day, everything comes out very like soft and fappy and whatever, and I love it. It's almost like a safer way of, instead of putting it in an oven, you put it in a hot car for a while, it'll soften your gear right up, especially with gloves. So that's kind of like a hack for breaking gloves if you live in a hot area. Leave it in your car, like fold it up, tie it, leave it in your car when it's on a hot day. The heat will help mold it or make it more malleable. So maybe it was kind of just some dumb luck with that happening. I don't know what, because just, I mean, the glove itself seems like it's made the same as other gloves, but I don't know. It feels way better on my hand than any other True glove. Like, I actually like it. Like, other than, well, my Vaughn glove is the best ever. I love it. That's my top glove. But beyond that, really the only other glove I thought was decent enough that I could use like as a full-time glove was the Bauer Hyperlight. The 1 and the 2 both felt pretty good. I was able to use it decently. But this feels like I have just feeling it out of the box. Like, I'm ready to use it. I'm ready to go on the ice and use it. Like, I feel like I can close it good. I feel like I would be able to catch good with it. So feel-wise, way better than any other True glove I've had. And okay, and like I've said before, so I always get the game ready. This is a game ready one, but if I'm comparing this again to like my Hyperlight gloves, my Vaughn gloves, it feels thicker. It feels like there's more padding. So I feel like True's Game Ready, it maybe not quite the same as the Pro Palm or Practice Palm on a Vaughn, but it is more robust for a thicker protective feeling than my Vaughn or my Bauer gloves have been. So if you're worried about protection, I guess that's like a plus with this, that even at the Game Ready level, it has pretty good amount of protection. Like again, I'm a beer league guy, so I'm speaking from that point of view. I really don't see why you need more protection than this. I guess maybe if you're playing in an area that just has like a bunch of ex-pros, super high level, and you're just getting shots ripped at you, okay, maybe you want a pro practice palm. For my purposes, I mean, even my Vaughn and Bauer have been fine for me, but this even has more protection than that. Like, I definitely do not need more protection than this, and I don't want it, because while yes, it feels pretty good on my hand and it's easy to close, like you can feel that thickness difference from my Vaughn. Like I just played last night using that Vaughn, and I was just like, man, this feels so good. And part of why the Vaughn feels so good is it has like a thin, streamlined feeling to it. So this still kind of has that chunky feeling like their past gloves I've had that I didn't like, but like I said, for whatever reason, it just closes better, easier, and I just feel like I could use it better than any other first impression I've had with a True glove. So it comes the double T, which that's what I like anyway, so I'm perfectly fine with that. It's got a hybrid thing where it's got the skate lace on the outer part, and then down the middle it has the cord. For me, I don't care. I mean, I usually just go with a cord throughout for the whole pocket. I have had skate lace in the past. Feel-wise, play-wise, it's not a huge difference to me. I don't know. In general, I just feel like the cord might hold up better, so I usually go with that. I feel like it kind of looks better, but hey, if you like skate lace, whatever. To me, that's not a big deal. If you go custom, you go one or the other, but stock. And this is how my PX3 glove came too, where it's like this situation where it's kind of a hybrid thing going on with the pocket. But then again, you know, it's a lot of the same, like I said with the blockers, a lot of the same design. Everything else feels, from the backhand perspective and the strapping perspective, it feels the same as my 9X3 glove and my 12.2 glove, and pretty much. But well, something that there's a carryover from the 9X3 is you see there's this Velcro thing for the thumb loop and for the, actually you can't see the pinky one because it's underneath this. Let me open this up for you. So I do kind of like that feature they have, where instead of the old style thumb and pinky loop being just like this, I don't know, Gen Pro or whatever, and you see how like the tabs hanging out, it's an actual, yeah, so this is the one for the pinky loop. It's an actual like strap that you can adjust and just Velcro it. That seems cleaner. So that is something, while very minor, is something that they have kind of introduced, a feature from True that, okay, it's better than other brands do it, but it's a very minor thing. Let me open this up. So here, come on. So here's the strapping. It's pretty straightforward. You got a wrist strap, you got a back of the hand strap, and then you got a like back of the finger strap up here. I like my gloves fairly loose. I don't have a problem with them falling off my hands. That's just how I like it, how I wear it on my hand. So I have this set up where it's fairly loose. I mean, it's good enough that it's not gonna come off, but it doesn't feel restrictive or anything. So it feels good. It's just, like I said, it's just a lot of the same that they've been doing, and it's pretty standard from other gloves too. Like, I don't know. It's nothing revolutionary with the strapping, but yeah. And like I said, so as I've repeated multiple times, I'm a 590 brake guy. This is their 590 glove. So yeah, feels good. Again, going with the chunkiness, is very chunky with the oh god, the cuff here. I just wish, again, you got two lines like the blocker. Have one that's more your experimental line. You try new things, you make it a little more modern. again, yes, there's these baby steps, and yes, this out of the box, this feels just better and easier to close than it has in the past. I don't know, like I said, if that was just dumb luck or there is something internally that somehow made this feel better than past ones, but I just, again, it's the same complaint. If you've watched my other review videos from the 12.1 line to now this, I just wish they would update it a little more, man. These little baby steps are just not enough. I mean, it's better than nothing, but I don't know, man. I don't understand why they're so stuck. Like I said, and again, they have 2 lines. Fine, keep one as the old style and then do something different with the other line. But anyway, we'll see. I do have higher hopes for this glove. I actually think I might genuinely like this glove, just how it feels. The blocker, I don't anticipate really caring for much, just based on how it feels in my hand, but we'll see. But that was just the kind of quick spec look at this thing. Oh, one last thing to call it. So it's got this Velcro piece up here. The only thing I've ever heard someone say what it's for is to help like drying it out to open this top part area. But like, as far as like doing anything or really adjust, it doesn't do anything because everything else is sewn in here. So it's not like you can move something, but it has a Velcro piece and has a thicker padded part up here. But like I said, the only thing I ever could find what that does is just to open it up to air out the glove better. One of the last thing to say is the cuff on the backhand. It doesn't restrict. You know, I'm able to have a lot of wrist flexion and fully present that glove, so that was good. But like I said, like the glove feels pretty good out of the box. I do like. I have to say, for whatever reason, because like I said, just looking at the design, it looks like the same old design, but for whatever reason, this glove just feels better than any other True glove I've ever had out of the box. So I am excited to use that, and I think that might work out for me, but we'll see. I'll do, I'll use it, do a review video on this. But yeah, but for this video, that's it. So see you in the next one.